Hi, I'm Bob Tabor with www.learnvisualstudio.net, and this is the solution video to the Laborious Layout Challenge. Recall, there's no one right way to do this. Make sure that you're not cheating. You should actually crack open Visual Studio and write some code before you get into this video. If you don't, shame on you. Okay, let's get started with the new project, and we're going to call this Laborious Layout. Take a look at the image while that's getting set up here. Keep this handy. The way that I see this, let's get that little top area out of the way, is that we have 3 grids. Each of these grids are almost identical, except they have a different title and the colors of these rectangles are the same. I also can see that there are essentially 3 rows, and so I'm looking at this like a grid, and yet they're arrayed with some respect to some stacking. So I'm going to enclose the entire area with a stack panel and create a grid, get it to look right, and then copy and paste it twice and change up the colors in the title, and we should be done. Add some margins between each of the grids, and then we should be done. Okay, so let's get started and open up mainpage.xaml. Here again, my recommendation would be to use this 13.3 inch desktop. Let's change that to 100 so we can at least see it. Move this over here to the right. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is start with a stack panel, like I said. And inside of that, we're going to create a grid. And if you recall, the grid had 3 rows and 2 columns. So let's go grid.row definitions, and then below that I'll do grid.column definitions. All right, and in the row definitions, let's go row definition, copy and paste that twice. So we have 3 rows, and then we're going to create 2 column definitions. One of the requirements was that the width of this only be 500. So let's go ahead and set that. I'm going to leave the row definition set to their default value of auto. I'm not going to set that. But the column definitions, we didn't really talk about this, but I'm going to set them equal to 1 and 2 star sizings. Like so. That should give us the desired effect of, you can kind of see if you split this into thirds, you have this title area as a third, and then the content area as 2/3. Okay. All right. Next up, let's go ahead and start adding the text blocks. There's going to be 2 of them. The one is going to be for the title. So we'll go title 1, and we know the font size, and that's going to be 24 equals 24, and it's going to be in the first column and the first row, so we'll just leave the defaults there. Here in the second text block, however, we're going to grab some lorem ipsum text. We just need that first paragraph. Let's copy that, go back to our project, I'll paste it in right there. And this needs to be in grid. Yeah, I'm outside the boundary here. Sorry about that. Let me grab both of these guys and put them inside the grid. When you're fighting IntelliSense, in other words, when IntelliSense is not giving you what you think, you may not be in the right place. I learned that the hard way. So grid.row equals 1 and grid.column equals 1. Great. All right, next up, stack panel. So this is going to be that little area below it. Do we need that? Yes, we do. We need it because we want it to be oriented horizontally. Then we need rectangles. We'll need 3 of them. In fact, let me just go ahead and do this. Fill equals whatever, and then the width will be 100. Height equals 30. Okay, and the stack panel will be in grid.row to grid.column 1. All right, let's see what we have so far. Not much, because we don't see some things. First of all, we need to turn on the text wrapping. Equals wrap. And then let's set the fills on this one, this first one, to green, black, and I believe red. All right, I know I have some margin issues, but I think we're on the right path there. Let's see what margin issues we have. There's no margin there. We don't need any margin here. So the only margin's really along the left-hand side, which looks to be about 20, and then the amount of space between the end of one of these grids and the beginning of the other one. So let us put the stack panel's margin equal 20, 0, 0, 0. And then we'll put at the end of the grid, the grid margin 0, 0, 0, 20. Okay, that should do it. Okay, great. All right, so the hard part's over. Now let's do this. Let's just grab the grid, whole grid. We're going to paste it twice in this stack panel. All right, for the second version of our little grid here, we'll title 2. And let's look at the picture here. Red, black, blue. Red, black, blue. And then this would, next one would be title 3. And this would be blue, black, and yellow. And before we run it, let me just go over here to the app.xaml.cs, get rid of the frame counter. Gone. And let's run it. See how close we got here. Okay, almost right. You see the issue here? We are centered, and I want to be left aligned, so let's fix that. And I often say that when you write code, it's more like molding clay than chiseling stone. So don't be afraid to mold and shape your applications into place. Work on them, run them, study them, change them, and repeat the process. So here we want to do the horizontal alignment equals left, and that should fix that issue. Let's see. Yeah. I think that's the solution. It runs off to the bottom of the screen. We'll fix that someday with a whole different control. That'll give us a scroll bar. But that's a solution. That's one solution. Hopefully you got it or got some version of this. And if not, come back to it tomorrow. So that's it. Now let's move on. I think you're ready for what comes next. We'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.